Hello vinyl community, Eric speaking here, new to this. Had some personal woes in my life get in the way of me making my first video. Not one to complain about myself, but figure I'd move on from that and finally get around to making a video like some of you guys have requested. Anyways, same old thing, new idiot. Best finds of 2018. You guys already know the routine by now, one hopes. Vinyl tag, here we go. If you'd asked me last year what I was looking to fill in on my record collection, I would have said Donald Byrd, probably my favorite jazz musician. I was visiting my sister in Wilmington, North Carolina. I stepped into Yellow Dog, and often as it goes, someone who cleared out the record collection filled in some of my gaps. Stepping in tomorrow, Bird in Flight. I don't know, a lot of you people that like jazz are gung-ho on it being free-form and they don't get into the funky stuff, but I like funky jazz. This is late 70s. Thank you for funking up my life. It's a jammer. It's a fun, good time. Alright, VC shout-out. I'll just run through this because I'm a new guy and I've been watching so much. Forgive me if I'm reading my cheat sheet here. I need one. Jam on Vinyl, Matt Sands I've been watching a long time, a.k.a. DJ Mellow Yellow and the Psych Professor. Andrew at Tales from the Creative Course. DJ High Noon, I appreciate eclectic music, and he won me over when he said jazz and metal and a smatter and a psych, I believe he said. That's my type of guy. After that, Under the Needle, I believe his wife helped him with the video. I thought that was adorable, like his taste in music. Dots and Loops, The Vinyl Verse. Everyone watches Steve Carlson, or they should. Genuine good dude. Bob Bradley and the Omaha Introvert. That's just a couple off the top of my head. Holes you're looking to fill in. They don't have a huge catalog, but I need some New York Dolls. I don't have any Beck. I don't have a huge collection, so I'm still hunting in the wild and enjoying that. Whatever comes up, I like to fill in all the gaps. Let's see here. After that, cheap album that's really good. If you never got into this band, the Guess Who, little Canadian rock, check them out. Compilation. If it's in amazing condition, it's going to cost you $8. This is a $3, $4, $5 album everywhere. Enjoy it. Enjoy funk music. One of my favorite funk bands ever is BT Express. I think I got pretty much their entire catalog. But when Barbara Joyce was in the group in the 70s, this would be their heyday. These are inexpensive. I mean, they're everywhere. You should just look for them, enjoy them. Great music. Favorite side project. Like I say, I'm late to the game, so anyone else who did this already is right. It's Jack Black's best music. Personal opinion. I love this album. Looking forward to the third. Great album. Also, I thought I'd cheat. Why not? The more I can show you guys, I'm new to the VC, so give you a taste of what I like. Rick James' side project, his lady group, the Mary Jane Girls. Just fun ear candy. Great music. That one has an Obi strip. I know some people go nuts for that. That's pretty much their entire catalog. This one's easier to find. It's also cheap. Good music. Enjoy it. Check it out. Songs from an artist or band that's uncharacteristic of the rest of their catalog. I figure I'd hit up some albums. Neil Young and the Shocking Pinks. Enough said on that. A little surfer rock, the Venture Brothers. If they were to have a metal album, this would be their metal album. And also, the title should give this one away. Crusaders, the vocal album. Started off as the Jazz Crusaders. Long, prolific career. Street life. Whenever I recommend music to people, and I'm trying to make them place it, or I'm trying to get it in their head, and introduce them to the stuff I like to use a soundtrack. If they don't know what it is, this was in a Quentin Tarantino movie. That's, of course, lapsing me right now because I've never been on camera. But Jackie Brown, great movie. Love Pam Grier. But that's one way. If you've never heard it or you're not familiar with their vocal stuff, that's the tune on that one. Last album you bought. I buy stacks at a time. When I go hunting, I'm friends with the people that I shop with, that are frequent. We catch up, usually buy a stack at a time, end up with a wine box full of records when it's all said and done. But I figured this is one for all the psych nuts would go nuts. Silver Apples. This chrome, you guys know, never wears right, especially if you have that Cream album. That silver has a little bit of ring wear. It's got a punch on it. Got a little bit of a split right here. Plays amazing. It's not a repress. It's old Cap Records. And it sounds great. I'm into a little bit of weirdness. And this is weird. If you don't know about the Simian, look it up. Good album with a bad cover. I'm a car guy. I'm a car nut. And this one has nothing to do with music. But in 1963, the Beach Boys released an iconic album, Little Deuce Coupe. Some reason, I believe a Canadian group, Pickwick, along with Capitol Records, in the 70s, made a comp album called Little Deuce Coupe. It's not the same music. And a Little Deuce Coupe, for you guys who don't know, is a 32 Ford. And the fact that you have a custom Corvette on here doesn't make any sense to me. Has nothing to do with music. The art is weird. It's busting out. I don't get it. Headlights are different. Car stuff, nerd. Doesn't matter. But that is not a Little Deuce Coupe. This ugly picture on the back is a Deuce Coupe. And the iconic 4-headlight Deuce Coupe cover from an album I need to pick up from 1963. That is a proper Deuce Coupe. This Corvette is a monstrosity and doesn't belong on that. For one that actually makes sense to people based on music. Pantera. I don't care what anyone says. It's a terrible, terrible album cover. Vulgar Display of Power. Probably a more preferred record for me. Still like this. It's got Cemetery Gates. At the end, I think there's 2 minutes left. When he makes that guitar shred, he sings without words. It's amazing. White trash, terrible. Not black and white. I guess it'd be sepia cover of just... That's just crap. It's a crap album cover. If you like metal, good album. This is going to hurt some people's feelings, and some people might disagree with one way or another. I personally think this is an awesome album cover. I love surrealism. It's called Trout Mask Replica. Pretty sure that's a carp. The vocals don't irritate me nearly as much as some people, but I cannot get into the fact that it's just... It's 5 things happening at once. It's nerve-wracking. I like to listen to this once a year and see if it grows on me. And every year it does a little bit. My musical taste grows. So I see where I stand with this album every year. Happy to have it. But Captain Beefheart, Trout Mask Replica, awesome album cover. Nearly horrendous album. Blues. My dad was a blues guy. So I wanted to pull out some cliche stuff, Muddy Waters and what have you and everything. I know this has been shown. I watched a bunch of videos. Really enjoyed it. Just had to get out of my shell and make a video myself. But probably some 8-10 years ago, hanging out with a buddy of mine, Jeremy Stroud. Needed to go to bed, needed to pass out. He's like, dude, we're going to watch this documentary. And I was like, dude, I don't care about a documentary right now. What the hell are you going to show me? And he showed me R.L. Burnside. I've enjoyed it ever since. Had this album for a few years. Prefer to hunt for the wild. Same trip in Wilmington. Found this. Haven't even split it yet. This is my need to play next list right here, my stack. So R.L. Burnside, Ass Pocket of Whiskey is a good one. I've never heard it on vinyl. Enjoy the record. Looking forward to hearing it. After the blues album, check my cheat sheet here. Earworm. I am an Earworm guy. Godfather told me once, if you're going to be a fool, be a singing fool. I always have a song stuck in my head. It's often gotten me in trouble. The 2 bands that are always in my head, quick jam, fun session songs. Ramones. Infinite list of Earworm songs that get stuck in your head all the time. Beat on the Brat. Judy is a Punk. I could just read the whole list. There's no point in that. Ramones. Huge Earworm band, as is the B-52s. This is a party mix. Not a huge list of songs on it, but it's great. Dances Mess Around. Give Me Back My Man. Give Me Back My Man's got to be my favorite B-52 song all time. Look up a live performance in black and white on YouTube. You won't regret it. It's awesome. Saw them in concert recently. Ladies still sound good. Did all their songs. Did this huge medley with a Lowrider and segued it into Rock Lobster. They put on a show. Awesome. The actual song, As Not to Cheat, my friends and I have had a ball with this song. It got some claim to fame recently because they did a Saturday Night Live skit about it. But Juice, if you don't know about Juice, he was a bit of a pimp, but kind of a cuck. He has a song on this called The Rain, where he basically complains about getting cheated on, and then he goes stone cold pimp on a chick. So, it's hilarious, it's great, it's a guilty pleasure. When friends flip in my record collection, they see this, they have a chuckle, and I was like, let me play you this song. And inevitably after that, that song's in your head. If you haven't heard it, listen to the full version. It's just a fun listen. Let me take a sip here from my ye old watermelon mug. There we go. Now I can keep on yapping. Historically important. Judas Priest. I love all types of music, very eclectic. If you had a Mount Rushmore of heavy metal, Judas Priest is a figurehead that is a must. It's not baitable. I don't care where you rank them in your top 5. They have to be in your metal top 5. This is a record store day release. I'm not big on double buying records. I have a whole bunch or collecting one album, but my first copy was a little bit beat up. That's on that Coca-Cola glass. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to buy this, and I had a buddy I turned on to Judas Priest. I gave him the digital download. Inevitably, he is now Judas Priest fan. They're amazing. If you like early blues rock, Al Atkins was the original lead singer. Rob Halford immediately replaced him. Give that album a chance. After that, Sad Wings of Destiny, they start to inject metal. They're inventing metal. Dreamer Deceiver, live on BBC, one of the best performances ever in history. Look it up, you will become a fan. Awesome song. All the way through the 70s, they just kept on cranking. Hell Bent for Leather. I'm going to skip some stuff. They were live, multiple live albums. They're huge in Japan for a reason. They're huge everywhere. Unleashed in the East. Not a fan of picture discs. Screamer for Vengeance. It just shreds. It shreds. Into the 80s. Jawbreaker. Am I not mistaken? Yes. No, I didn't even have to look. Jawbreaker. He used to be a little bit of ruffian. He used to get in some fisticuffs. Walked out to a couple fights to Jawbreaker. Painkiller. They're still killing it in the 90s. This is a Korean first press. They've repressed it now, so it's easier to find, but you used to have to get crafty. I like to hunt in the wild, but this is an eBay pickup a couple years ago. Sounds great. Minty, minty, minty. Still cranking it. They parted ways, got back together. Oh, here's an idiosyncrasy of mine. If you guys want to get to know me, I usually leave the shrinks on if I'm buying a brand new record. Why wouldn't I? Especially as a hype sticker, but when it's a gatefold, oh man, you got a quagmire. What do you do? Can someone leave a comment? If you got a hype sticker, shrinky, brand new record, but it's a gatefold, what do you do? I don't know. I know. I fight that fight in my head. I don't know what to do. Sometimes I'm a little OCD. I don't know what to do, but everyone goes nuts for the white vinyl. I don't care if it's colored or not. When it is, I'll show it off. But as long as it plays, band's still cranking it. Saw them tour a couple years ago. Firepower. They still got it. You can't hit the octaves like you used to, but they're still a badass band. Love them to death. A lot of metal bros had to get over the fact that he's gay. Who cares? Gay's not contagious. That's metal. He invented metal. Okay, after my rant there, had to go on a rant because respect to Bob Dylan, all these jazz musicians, all these people, but that got forgotten, so I figured I'm going to go on a Judas Priest rant. Albums because of my parents. Yeah, I've practically got this memorized. Like I say, I've watched a bunch of these videos. Dad was a blues man. his favorite movie of all time. I've watched dozens and dozens of times with him before he passed, and still watched Blues Brothers. I figured you could show the soundtrack, but here's an actual album. Fun music, cool. Had it on cassette, have it on CD. That was for my dad. My mom, I don't know if you can hear in the background, I got John Prine on. Mom used to house clean to John Prine. I like singer-songwriters. I like lyrical substance. I like a lot of different stuff. But John Prine on account of my mother. Dollar bin find. My dollar bins I like to flip through because I collect bad record covers. If an album, the cover's so bad that it's awesome but it's inexpensive, I gotta buy it. People flip through. They're looking at all the eclectic music. They see a silly album cover, makes their day, starts conversation, triggers a conversation on different music, so on and so forth. It's a roundabout way to discover what you want to listen to. That being said, one of the gems I found, draw the line. Aerosmith. Super white. These things always got an atrocious ring wear. It's not glossy, it's a flat paper. These things are always messed up. I have no reason why. But it's $1. Had to buy it. Who doesn't like Aerosmith? Okay, after that, best dollar favorite double album. Okay, I got these out of order. Maybe I should have done my homework. This one's also cheating because it has nothing to do with music. It has to do with generosity. I'm a chef by trade, thus the wine hat and the wine box. This George Harrison album was gifted to me by a regular with a giant stack of other records. Some of it's Steely Dan in Asia, the Eagles, I don't care too much about. They end up as trade fodder. But at that time, this was not repressed. This was coveted. It's in great condition. And I enjoy the Beatles. I enjoy this music. But it's really about the generosity. I like to stay honest, even if I'm being silly and bullshit, and I'm still honest. And this was a gift I appreciate. And it's not so much about the music, but a memory of human nature in a good way. All right. Albums you learned about from the VC. I mean, I'm talking in the shop all the time. I didn't even make a note for this one. I guess Vinyl in the Van. You know, I watch his videos, really enjoy him. Lots of crazy stuff. Stuff he talks about the whores, Ty Segall, Jay Retard I'm familiar with, but there's so many things he talks about that I have to kind of interrupt the video and say, let me listen to that. Let me watch a little YouTube snippet of that, figure out what he's talking about. So probably albums you learned about in the VC. I'd have to give it to Vinyl in the Van. He's the one who's got me discovering new music. 10-inch records. My one and only 10-inch record. Something I don't care about. I buy music anytime I go see live music. I like to support bands. If they're worth a damn, I enjoy the music, I'm going to support them. She has a bit of a cult following now and has released multiple albums, but back when she was touring, Larkin Grimm, limited to 500 copies. 10-inch here. I don't know if you can see, because, you know, with these 10 inches, you always have these makeshift hobo sleeves. Since I saw her, and I was nice enough to bottle with her, I flirted with her shamelessly. Why wouldn't I? She autographed it. Experimental psychedelic folk? I guess that sums it up. She has a song called, Harpoon Baptism. If you want to get into the weirdness of Larkin Grimm and just get into the deep eclectic, type in Harpoon Baptism. Not on this album. But if you want to know a little bit more about her, that would do it. 10-inch record, 7-inch record now. I had a stack a while ago. A buddy of mine, DJ Harold, he spins 45s and DJs. Wasn't that much. Gave them to him. But along with this album, a more contemporary singer-songwriter started off. Mike Dowdy started off in Soul Coffin. If you know the song Super Bon Bon. He's made some cool music. He's made some eclectic music. He does his own thing. But he had this album. Like I say, people care about the color. So when it's colored, I'll pull it out. Kind of a purple translucent. I don't know if you could see it here with my big body and the brown and the orange. But along with it, was a small hole 45. So that came with it, and that is a 45 I have. Like I say, not something I collect. I like the experience of sitting down and kind of listening to a whole record, so don't have much in that. Sleeping music. My Audio Technica is an AT-PL120. It doesn't have an automatic return on it, so it's not too often that I kind of like let myself shut down with the needle just running on a loop. But if I were to listen to music, it'd probably be a pleasant female voice. Carol. Patsy. Laura. I like that ring wear. A lot of people are OCD. Sometimes it adds something. Almost makes a picture frame out of stuff. A little silhouette, like an angel halo. And then everyone loves this album cover because a lot of people saw it for the first time when they're a 12-year-old boy. But Carly Simon, yeah, I enjoy her music. I enjoy her voice. It's relaxing. If I were to fall asleep to something, it'd probably be something like this. Alright, let's wrap this up. My goal was to be 20 minutes. I think I'm right about there. Favorite VC experience. I'd have to say my favorite VC experience so far is Vinyl Tag. I've watched videos for some time, watched Andrew for a while. Whatever kind of pops up in my feed without subscribing, and leave comments here and there. I've watched Frank with Channel 33 RPM, a Canadian guy big into rock and metal. But this has kind of gotten me to meet more people and interact. Steve was probably, Steve Carlson, you have texterzations with people. A lot of people are really good about it. Noble Records, he always gets back to me. But Steve, he said, I'm subscribing to you for when you make a video. And so that was kind of the thing that finally pushed me to get out of my shell and say, you know what? There's not enough people that give a damn about music. I'm gonna continue conversation. I'm gonna talk a little crap and extend the olive branch. And if people like what I'm talking about, I'd like to talk back. I'll continue to leave messages. Maybe I'll make some more videos. But extreme thank yous for everyone out there that makes videos on something that I'm so passionate about that a lot of people scoff at and don't care about it anyway. A lot of people are content with the radio. They only know top 40 hits. They don't have a passion. You name a band that you think is ubiquitous or obligatory knowledge, and they're just like, oh, I have no idea what that is. And so I'm here, maybe for keeps. But leave a message, and I'll be leaving you a message. Take care. God bless. All that jazz.